As America turns 250 this year, the Kilgore Public Library is playing host to a traveling exhibit. KLTV7's JD Conti shows us tonight the lessons it offers.
We just have so much we owe our patriots.
Outside the Kilgore Public Library, a trail of patriots, names of those who fought and served in the American Revolution. They're all ancestors of East Texans like Patty Cunya's.
He happened to be at West Point when Benedict Arnold betrayed the country.
She's a daughter of the American Revolution. Members trace their lineage to patriots who fought or supported the war effort. This is their traveling exhibition with maps, paintings, and stories. Some stories you may have never heard, whether it be freedmen or fighting women.
They sacrificed their treasures, what they had worked for all their lives.
With a little bit of family lore along the way.
Family history says that John Holt was an aide to General George Washington.
This display, One That Travels Texas, has a special edition. It tells the story of Texas ranchers who did their part. Even though Texas was still Spanish territory, ranchers here helped supply Spain, who fought the British along the Gulf Coast.
They got the supplies to Galvez in Louisiana in support of the American Revolution.
Tanya says this young nation can still teach us things today.
Not everybody was patriot. We had loyalists. We had fence sitters. It's not much different than we have today.
And while reflecting on sacrifice,
we must cherish that freedom.
JD Conti, KLTV7 News.
And if you'd like to see it for yourself, they're hosting what's called Super Saturday this weekend. You can enjoy colonial activities like rope making and butter churning. That full exhibit is on display through February 12th.